Nulab is a manufacturing laboratory of nutraceutical and herbaceutical preparations. We are a source of products that are useful and healthful, often innovative, and sometimes even life-saving. The driving force behind our work is a desire to make a positive contribution to people's health. Nulab's manufacturing takes place in 3 locations in Florida. We also have a research and product development division in Los Angeles. In Mexico City, our sister company, licensed as a pharmaceutical laboratory, serves Mexico and some parts of Latin America. Nulab makes products in the form of capsules, tablets, powders, and liquids. We also make specialty items such as effervescent wafers and chewing gums. We package these products in several ways, including in bottles, blister sheets, and single dosage sackets. Nulab also has an herb extraction facility where we extract the active components from a plant and make it into either a liquid or powder. Since we are a source of products that are prescribed by healthcare professionals, products that people depend on for their health and well-being, maintaining a standard quality is our first priority. For us, quality control, also known as quality assurance, does not consist simply of checking that the finished product is okay before we ship it. It is an integral part of the entire production process. More than anything else, this focus on quality control is what sets Nulab apart from many other companies in our industry. Quality control can best be defined as a system by which a standard or desired quality in a product is maintained. It is a program for the systematic monitoring and evaluation of the process that exists to produce a product. Because the desired quality has to be maintained through the various stages of that process, it must therefore be verified at each step in this manufacturing of a product. The dictionary defines it as the totality of features and characteristics of a product that bears on its ability to satisfy stated needs. It is the product's fitness for a defined purpose, the degree to which it meets its specifications. At Nulab, a product must meet these 5 specifications. 1. It must contain the correct types of ingredients specified. 2. It must contain the correct amounts of those ingredients. 3. It must not have been cross-contaminated with other ingredients during the manufacturing process. 4. It must be free from microbes or other unsanitary contaminants. And 5. It must be bioavailable, meaning that it must be made in such a way that the body is able to take advantage of its ingredients. But before control systems can be put into place to ensure that each finished product meets these criteria, the production laboratory where the production takes place must have certain physical characteristics. Let's take a tour through Nulab to illustrate some of these points. At Nulab, the entire production area is isolated within the rest of the structure and made into one large clean room facility. Even the corridors that run as arteries between the areas of weighing, mixing, encapsulation, tableting, and bottling are made to clean room standards. The individual production spaces are serviced by a dust collection system that removes airborne particles. The air is filtered and returned 99.9% pure. To make sure that particles do not travel from one production zone to another via the air conditioning system, both the air conditioning intakes and outlets throughout the production space have HEPA filters. These are the highest efficiency filters available for the filtration of small particles, certified to capture a minimum of 99.97% of contaminants at 0.3 microns in size. That is a particle so small that about 1 million of them would fit onto the head of a pin. It is the type of filtration system also used in hospital operating rooms. The production facility is built for maximum transparency. Windows throughout give QC inspectors visibility into any production area, even from a distance. This also allows you to see the full process of making your product when you visit Nulab. Beveled window edges and coved corners of walls and floors allow for thorough cleaning. Floors and walls painted with epoxy provide a non-porous surface that prevents accumulation of powder. The ceiling consists of washable ceiling tiles. Restrooms are modern with ample hand sterilizing stations. To further prevent cross-contamination, the spreading of particles from one space to another, the production rooms are pressure controlled. They have a lower air pressure than the outside corridors. This prevents migration of particles from a production room to the outside corridor, which in turn prevents their spreading to other production stations. Monitoring the personnel who operate production equipment is a key factor to ensure that our products are free of microbial and unsanitary contaminants. All plant personnel undergo a regular mandatory medical screening of blood, saliva, urine, and feces to eliminate anyone who is infected with parasites, hepatitis, or other communicable diseases. Before entering the production space in the morning, each employee must certify in writing that he or she does not have a cold or other infection. Supervisors and QC inspectors monitor this continuously. Anyone found violating this rule is suspended or terminated. Protective garments are of course mandatory for anyone working in the production areas. Hair, face, and shoe covers are discarded when an employee leaves the clean room space and never reused. To best illustrate the technical activities that go into checking the quality of the product, let's review the steps that go into making capsules. To do so, we will follow the flowchart for its production. First, the raw material has to be qualified. When a raw material arrives at our warehouse, the warehouse manager immediately places it in the quarantine section. A quality control inspector then reviews the supplier's certificate of analysis and does a physical inspection of the powder, what is known as an organoleptic test. This consists of checking the powder's color, odor, taste, and general characteristics against our standard samples. The particle size of the powder is also checked at this time to ensure it is suitable for encapsulation. When a quality control inspector has given his approval for a botanical extract, it goes for the chromatography analysis using either high-performance liquid chromatography or thin-layer chromatography. After this analysis, the QC inspector next determines the microbial status of the product. If the powder has values that exceed our standards, it goes for sterilizing treatment using gamma irradiation. This is an FDA-approved process for sterilizing food and drugs that involves passing the material through an irradiation field. Once the quality control inspector has approved the ingredients that are to be used, the production manager issues what is known as a batch record. This computerized printout outlines the production process to be followed for that particular production batch. The first step of the production process is the most critical to the quality of the final product. It consists of weighing the materials to be blended together into the formula. A quality control inspector first checks to see that the raw materials are from already approved lots. The inspector then reviews the physical state of the weighing space. Are the operators wearing the specified clothing and protective covers? The inspector goes through a checklist that leaves nothing to chance. After a QC inspector has verified the individual weights, these travel to the mixing area. But before any are added to a mixer, a QC inspector examines the mixing area personnel and the area to be used. If the production instructions call for a pharmaceutical mix, a QC inspector must be present as the materials are added to the mixer. This is a mix where the finished blend is carefully built up from the smallest ingredient to the largest. Once the materials have been mixed for the specified amount of time, 30 to 45 minutes, the QC inspector examines the finished mix. The mix is weighed and the result checked against the input values. The inspector analyzes the consistency of the mix to make sure it is uniform. Before the finished mix can be encapsulated, the space and equipment must be sterilized. During the encapsulation process, the inspector does random weight checks of the finished capsules. A check weighing system then examines the weight of the capsules produced. Only those capsules that pass this control point are transferred to the bottling station. Next, capsules are filled in bottles, which are capped and labeled in one continuous process. Moisture-absorbing humectants are also added to the bottles, which are wrapped with tamper-proof protective film. The QC inspector assigned to the bottling line does random checks of bottles to verify the capsule count as well as the general appearance of bottles. The finished bottles are next transferred to the finished products quarantine section. Each bottle is check-weighed to make sure that no container has been accidentally underfilled. The quality control director then reviews the paperwork for the batch and does a physical inspection of the finished products. Random samples are taken of the finished batch, which are sent for analytical and microbial analysis. Once the results are in, and if everything else is in order, the QC director puts his seal of approval on the batch. Only then can it be released into the finished products warehouse for shipping. Senior executives at Nulab view quality control as their first priority. The general manager has a direct link to a video monitoring system for a real-time viewing and recording of activities on the production floor. Each month, the CEO meets with quality control staff to review their inspection reports and discuss how to further improve the verification process. The quality control inspection system at Nulab is a time-consuming process, but it is the only way we can be sure that you will receive a product that has the desired quality. More and more, research by healthcare professionals prove the benefits of herbs, antioxidants, vitamins, and other nutraceuticals. Therapeutic dosages are becoming more precise and the types of ingredients more specific. It is Nulab's role to be a source of such products. Quality control is the tool we use to accomplish this.